right. All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. We are live once again on this Thursday, November the 5th, 2025. Soon be rounding out this year. Um, and we're excited to be here. This is another presentation of Consciousness Ascending. This is episode 68 of Accelerating Your Journey, which lends and hints to our purpose, which is not just to support you, which is not just to offer information, which is not just to dance around the peripheral of your journey of enlightenment, but to significantly assist you in accelerating the process. The process can be accelerated. The process can be sped up, if you will. There are certain parameters and certain things that you can do to guarantee that your process is moving along at the highest progression as it can, and it involves basically consistency. And it's difficult to know what that looks like when you're going about this path on your own, because you get stuck very easily. You get stifled very easily. You get moved off center very easily. It's a challenge to take your eyes off of external reality. There is so much data entering through your physical senses that it's difficult to take your eyes off of physically manifest reality. But you have to, in order to truly engage your potential, in order to truly realize your potential in this lifetime. You have to. It has to be a priority, and you have to make that your play and practice, not work, not fight, not war, but your play and practice on a daily basis until you can get to a moment-by-moment basis. Benny practices, just uses his phone every hour. The alarm goes off, and he recenters himself. He resets himself. He finds himself and creates and establishes himself into a higher frequency, higher vibrational state. That is the core. That is the core. That is the crux of that which you are engaged in, maintaining a high frequency state, being in that state so that you can perceive experience from that perspective, so that you can interpret experience from that perspective, so that you can get to know who and what you are from that perspective, and begin to create space between the you that you are in a higher frequency and the you that you have been conditioned to lower frequency, lower vibration, so that you can feel the difference, then so that you can see the difference, then so that you can create otherwise, by choice, intentionally, versus in a reactionary fashion to that which has already been created, in large part from low vibration, which holds you in the loop of creation through low vibration. That's what you got to get out of. That is why consistency is so important. If you find value in these interactions, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. That helps a little bit, a little bit. So that you're alerted whenever new content is uploaded, when we're going live. Check the description on how to connect and become a part of the community, so that you receive our newsletters, our notes throughout the week, so that you are alerted as to when we have upcomings off of this platform in which we offer support, so that you can be aware of our private sessions that we offer. You can find the link to that page in the description, and also our private community, which may be one of the highest potentials that you can find out there, in which you will find everything necessary to elevate, expand, evolve, and accelerate the path that you're on, this journey of enlightenment that we all are on. In that private community, which is now roughly 2 years old, you find everything that's necessary: the community, the support, the guidance, the facilitation, the frequency, the attentiveness to be powerful. as an individual in a short span of time. So, oh yeah. If you're part of the community, you know this already. If you're not part of the community, we want to let you know that for the next upcoming months, November and December, we are offering our private sessions at half the base investment. For those of you who are inspired to jumpstart your 2026, if you have identified, or if we would like for you to identify what's the highest intention that you have for 2026. Single out a certain thing that you would like to change, be different at, create different in your life for 2026. Once you have identified that, if you are inspired, engage with us through a private session. We will help you get further clarity on that intention. We will help you uncover and cut into or completely release the greatest resistance that you have to that intention for 2026, and afterward provide further support in that specific endeavor so that you can begin to see and realize through your attention on a single intention the magnificent potential that you have. Again, we're offering through this month and the month of December. Remember that scheduling can be hectic in December. It is a busy month on your planet. But for the next 2 months, we are offering that our private sessions, 90 minutes at half the base investment. If you are inspired, you can find the email address in the About section on this platform. Just send us an email that you are inspired to do that, and we will move you forward in that direction and get you scheduled. Awesome. So today, let's talk about the foundation of you supersedes techniques. Methods and processes are a small piece of the puzzle. It's interesting. It's interesting because so many are seeking techniques and processes. They don't even realize that fetish, that focus on finding a single thing that is the answer is part of your conditioning. There is no single thing that's the answer. There's no single thing that's manifest that's part of the answer. You can find the answer in anything that you have been successful at, whether it was school, whether it was a sport as an athlete, whether it was an invention, whether it was anything that you have been successful at. Guess what? You weren't immediately successful. There was a process. There was a process. Once you decided you wanted to do the thing, once you decided that you wanted to be successful at the thing, there was a process of learning. There was a process of understanding. There was a process of you growing into being the person who was successful at the thing. There was a process of you knowing that you could be successful, knowing that you were successful in order for you to be able to perform in that fashion and create the level of success that you were intending. That to the point where everyone around you in that area knew that you were a success. There was a process. There was no special moment. There was no special pill. There was no special method or technique. There was a process in which methods, techniques, ideas, information, knowledge, assistance, support came into your being that created you, that was the being successful at that thing. So when you look back and you unravel the process, you see that you were excited as you were becoming. Maybe every now and then you got frustrated. Maybe every now and then you wanted it to hurry up. You wanted things to move faster. But for the most part, you were excited about the process. You weren't bummed about the process. When you look back, you see how all of the bits and pieces came together. Whether it was classes and teachers or suggestions to go talk to this person and talk to that person, people that came into your experience at random, strangers that found you at the store, that found you in the meeting, that you talked to and you got information from, that continued to build the you that is now successful at the thing. There was a process that you were engaged in, whether you realize it or not. And there was no specific thing or specific event or specific method or technique that created the you. It was the whole that created the you. It was the successes along the way and the failures that created the you. It was the great decisions and the not so great decisions that created the you. You have to understand that, because when you understand the process and you evaluate the process, you begin to see, wow, since this is the process of becoming, for anything I intend, anything I desire, then a key is to stay in gratitude and appreciation for being able to engage in the process, for knowing that I am engaging in the process, which means for no specific period of time are you ever finding yourself in frustration, doubt, worry, angry, out of alignment with that which you are intending. Because you know every step is a part of the process. Yay, I won today. That was part of the process. Ooh, I didn't do so great today. That was a part of the process of you becoming the whole of you that is now successful at the thing. When you look to the process and you break down the process of your becoming, it's almost the exact same as the process of creation, the inner creative process within each of you as individuals. The process stays the same. The process does not change. The process is the same whether you have created something you desire or something you do not desire. The process is the same. The imagery, the emotion around that single idea, your overall energy signature, your vibration that aligns you with the experience that you desire, and any and all other experiences that you desire by being in a high vibration, a high frequency state. Off-center, lower vibrational frequency states, you're out of alignment with the thing that you are intending, and you're out of alignment with the good that you seek. Because the good that you seek doesn't feel the way you feel at the moment if you're in a lower vibration, if you're in frustration, doubt, worry, anger, hate, any of those things. Process is the process. The integrative process is the same for each of you. The process is at work whether you have created great or not so great. There is a process to your becoming that which is successful at the thing you are intending. And when you understand the process and you understand that there is no single event, there is no single method or technique, then you can get about the play and practice of focusing on the becoming at every step and following your inspiration in the direction that you should go for the next piece to the puzzle. And when you're in alignment, because alignment is alignment no matter what direction you're moving, no matter what your intention, no matter how many intentions you have, alignment is alignment. So if you're in alignment, guess what? You are focused on creating your business. And now this evening, you're at the restaurant with a partner, an intimate partner, or a friend, or a group of friends, or family, and you overhear a conversation that supports you in your business. You run into an old friend that's able to support you in your business. Somebody at your table knows somebody. They just saw them in the restaurant. They introduced them to you because they know what you're doing and they're able to support you in your business. These type things happen in your experience because alignment is alignment. right? Alignment is alignment. The color, the tone of that which you actually desire is very, very similar. And the higher you go up the rungs, if you will, from your perspective of experience and expression, the faster the energies, the faster the particles move, the faster the forms are created, the faster manifestation is able to occur for you as an individual. And the faster the synchronicities fall in place for you. The faster information is able to make its way to you. The knowledge that is necessary is able to make its way to you. The people are able to make their way to you. So alignment, so the process, understanding that it's a growth and expansion process, alignment along the way, every step, understanding that every excellent decision and every not so great decision is a part of the process. Recognizing that if you are moving forward, if you are following that which you are inspired to do in the moment, that you are drawing closer and closer to the thing that you are intending. And allow alignment to be alignment. The meeting of the individual at the restaurant that evening, when you're out with friends and family, not even thinking about your business, is the process at work. Is the process at work. Coming across the next step in the creation of the infrastructure of your business online as you are watching a fun video is alignment, is synchronicity, is part of the process. And you're open to it. Because you know at any given moment, if you stay in alignment, the things that are necessary for you are making their way to you with perfect timing. Point is, don't get hung up on methods and techniques. Understand that it's all a process. And that process is fueled by you at your foundation, at your core. This is why we suggest, good morning everyone, good afternoon everyone. This is why we suggest that first and foremost, that you begin to play and practice with consistently maintaining a higher vibrational state. Because your energy expression colors and coats every next present moment, whether you have an intention or not. Understand, whether you have an intention or not that you're aware of, your vibrational expression, the color that you're offering, the tone that you're offering, the frequency that you're offering is and lays the foundation for every next present moment. If this stuff is true, that which you are expressing is reflected back to you, then the color of that which you are expressing, the tone of that which you are expressing has to be what you find in your next present moment. Now don't jump and kick and scream if you find not so great in the next present moment, because you have created momentum that still has to play itself out. But also in the moment, if you begin to explode joy and explode excitement, guess what? You will begin to find that. It doesn't completely wash out the momentum that you have created, but in that expression, you will begin to find it. Because collaborative components that align with that expression may be closer than you think. They're always all around you. But when you explode excitement and joy and gratitude before you go into the store, it's highly possible that you meet excitement, joy, and gratitude through the individuals, through the things noticed in the birthday cards as you walk through that section and it made you laugh. You come in contact with those things as you move through your experience. Your frequency, your tone, your vibration. This is key. Begin to play and practice with this first and foremost. Begin to recondition yourself to higher vibration, higher frequency. Then begin to look to the processes that are at play permanently. The inner creative process, the process that's at play as you move from one creation to the next, from one intention to the next, the process that's at play. Undergirded by a strong, beautiful vibrational expression that you have intentionally created and established for yourself, and that you are continuing to create and establish for yourself. This is something that has to be a constant play and practice, right? It has to be a constant play and practice because you still have your five senses. Your five senses are still allowing in the data from your physical realm. You have media sources that are granting you information from around the world consistently. And the current level of conditioning on your planet is in the direction of that which, through your media sources, is in the direction of that which is unwanted. They're perpetuating fear so that you are in fear internally, so that you are creating fear for yourself in your life and not realizing your true power. To change directions and go up opposite of it. So as you are aware of these things, as one who is aspiring to be a powerful conscious creator, as you are aware of these things occurring, your conscious choice to express highly in your energy signature is a constant practice. Is a constant practice. Can be, could be. We suggest it be a priority as a constant play and practice. And the more you play and practice at this, the easier it gets. The more normal it gets. Because in your intending, you are reconditioning. You are establishing an understanding and a level of frequency expression for every cell, every particle. In your play and practice of this, you are transforming the mind because your whole being is operating in unison now. The feeling that is your norm, your current most consistent level of vibrational expression comes with it. The thought patterns born of that expression, the dominant ideas that are born of that expression, and you have a loop of creation. And as you begin to play and practice in higher frequency, you are beginning to cut into that loop. And if you can imagine a pitcher of dirty water and you put it under a faucet and you turn that faucet on and the clean water is coming in and the old water is now running over the edge as the clean water continues to come in. This is what you're doing when you are playing and practicing with consistency at establishing yourself in a high frequency. You're pouring in the clean water. And over time it completely cleans itself out. Not tomorrow. Probably not next week. Probably not next month. But over time, it will clean itself out. And here's the thing. Along the way, you will know that you are making progress. You will know that you are shifting and that you are making a difference because the thought patterns will change. Because your choice of idea to activate and act on will change. And only you will see it because these are things that will be occurring inside of the mind and body. But when you begin to notice them, you will know that you are doing the right things to move along the path in the direction that you are intending, in the direction that you would like. It's about the process. It's about consistency. And there are specific places that are the highest for you, specific positions of which are the highest for you to start as you begin to build a firm foundation under your growth and expansion. To jump in and try to start manifesting the money is not the best thing to do. It's not. You haven't established a firm foundation of knowledge, of understanding, and awareness to begin to jump in on an idea that is so polarizing, to jump in on an idea that is possible that you have been conditioned so far away from, and you're not addressing that which is at your foundation, your core, mentally and vibrationally, that is separating you from that idea. So to jump in there is to create and be more in frustration and out of alignment with it than to create and be in alignment with it. Establish a foundation of understanding, of knowledge. Consistently play and practice with establishing yourself, holding yourself as often as you can in a higher frequency state. As you're doing that, begin to notice and become more and more aware of the inner creative process and the process of growth and expansion that each and every one goes through in the process of creating an experience. Begin to see that it's the exact same process, whether you're talking about what you want or have desired, or that which has occurred that has not been desired or you would not choose consciously. Begin to notice that the process is the same. Begin to see that the process is the same as you observe your past and your present from a higher frequency perspective. This is how you go about it. This is how you go about this journey of enlightenment. This is how you establish a firm foundation of knowledge, of understanding, of awareness, built on solid experience. And then the stronger you get, then you begin to look at those areas that most are highly emotional about and begin to address them with a solid foundation at your core. Changing the experience of an abundance of lack and scarcity to abundance of wealth. Changing the experience of sickness and dis-ease to the experience of health, healing, and well-being. Changing the experience, the belief in separation to the belief and experience of oneness. Changing the belief in the absence of value to the belief, the knowing, and the experience of one who is of the highest value, because you are. And even beyond that, to the belief and the experience of one who doesn't even entertain the idea of value, because your truth in source doesn't even entertain the idea of value or the absence of value. Who are you from that position? What does your expression look like from that position? What does your experience look like from that position? These are questions that you begin to ask when you get to certain points on this journey of enlightenment as a result of doing the right things in the right way with a level of consistency, a high level of consistency. We want to thank each of you for supporting us in the creation of this interaction. Those of you who are here now, we are thankful for those of you who have found this recording and allowed us to be of support in that matter. If you would, if you have been inspired to a new idea, if your awareness has been expanded, even a fraction of a bit, and you have knowledge, you have wisdom, you have understanding, and you have the words to that, throw those in the comment section, that others might benefit from your growth and expansion. It doesn't have to be a long thing. It can be short. Just make it clear that which you have been moved to, that which you have fathomed now as a result of this interaction, and allow others to benefit from your growth and expansion. That would be a beautiful thing. But at this moment, If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have an idea that you have been spurred to as a result of this interaction that you would like us to further discuss, place those in the chat and we will take a few minutes on those. Thank you. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yes, yes, you're very welcome, very welcome. Let's see. It's worthy of pronouncing. Thank you. It's profound on a new feeling level just by sitting quietly and feeling and listening. Excellent. Yes, the frequency. The information, everything that we communicated through our words or through the words of this vessel, that information is in the frequency. Actually, is probably even more clear in the energies that you're participating in as a result of being here than the words. The effect is more profound if you were able to connect to the frequency of that which is being communicated versus hearing and understanding the words that are being communicated. Fantastic. Fantastic. Hourly check, yes, easy. It's an easy thing. If you have a phone, or if not, use a clock. Check in hourly. It's an excellent way to play and practice with being in a high frequency. Check in, get yourself into a higher frequency state, whether you begin to sing your favorite song, entertain the idea of a rainbow or your favorite color and its purity. Get yourself into a high frequency state and then go about your day. If you do that on an hourly basis, we promise you, you will have been in alignment with beautiful things during the course of the day, more so than you were out of alignment with beautiful things. Play and practice with this. Let us know what you find. Excellent. Anna says, how can we stay uplifted and be the most helpful to our planet at this time? Any specific advice from Abraham? Thank you very much. Stay the most uplifted and most helpful to our planet at this time. We've kind of discussed this before. Thank you for the question. We will start by saying you have to understand that this is a selfish journey. As an individual, it doesn't matter whether you're a husband or a father, this is a selfish journey. You are not here to do anything for anyone else. This is a selfish journey. No one can make the transformation of you except for you. The benefit, the highest benefit that you can be to those around you and to your planet is by becoming the highest version of yourself that you can fathom. And just as we said a second ago, that which we are transmitting, for those of you who know and play with connecting with us on a frequency level, your experience in this interaction will be more profound than the person who is merely trying to understand and interpret the words. And it's the same for you as an individual as you strive to feel and desire or inspire to be of support to your family, to your loved ones, to your planet. The further you move around down the path of your growth and expansion, the more you expand, the more expansive you become, the more of a higher frequency you become and express consistently. That alone is the most powerful thing that you can do. Because your frequency, just as we have done to you in this interaction, your frequency gives those that you come in contact with the opportunity to tune up to you. So what are we talking about? When you come out of a movie, or you're with friends and family and you are having a fantastic time, or maybe let's change the perspective. You are out and you see children playing and laughing, or you're in a restaurant and the table next to you sings happy birthday, or they're just laughing and talking and having a great time to the point where it catches your attention and it makes you feel good. Guess what? You don't even realize it, but at your table where you are, because they made you feel better than you did, now your energies are higher at your table. And your light got a little bit brighter, and because your light got a little bit brighter, nobody else noticed it, your light got a little bit brighter, and now everyone at your table, or those who are in the vicinity vibrationally with you, their lights get a little bit brighter. They feel a little bit better. And then they go home, and guess what? Because their lights are a little bit brighter, their family gets touched, and the children and the spouse or partner's light gets a little bit brighter. That's how you do it. And there's no rush, there's no push. There's first understanding that this is a selfish journey. You're not here to do that. That is icing on the cake. That is the world's benefit of the gift of you. The gift of you. Stay the course. Make your becoming a priority. That's the greatest benefit any of you can have on your families, at your jobs, through your businesses, on your planet. Anna, thank you for the question. Awesome. Let's see. Madeline. Hope we say that correctly, Madeline. Can you give us an example of how to create a strong foundation when it comes to financial freedom, opulence, or the like? Excellent. Foundation. Foundation. When you look out in nature, all there is abundance. Unless, now, we'll get the question, well, what about those species and those animals that have gone extinct? That means that it was their time to go extinct. Just as when one transitions from life physical back to the non-physical in its entirety, it was their time. It doesn't matter how they went, it was their time. Animals that have gone extinct, it was their time to go extinct. That was not a human decision, even if it looked or appeared as that humanity created the circumstance. It was their time. It was their time. So when you talk about financial freedom, when you talk about opulence, when you're talking about wealth creation, it's about the idea. It's about the frequency. It's about the vibration. When you look out in nature, you see that abundance is the truth. Everything is in abundance. Everything is in an excessive state. And when you look around at humanity, you see those who are in abundance. You see those who are in an excessive state. But guess what? The idea of abundance is a truth, which means that through the individual human being, one can create an excess and abundance of wealth. One can also create and participate in an experience in an abundance of lack and scarcity and anything in between. Because abundance is a truth. Most think abundance is having more than enough money. No, you can have an abundance of lack and scarcity. But that's abundance as well. So how do you begin to change that foundation? You can begin to change that foundation and create a new foundation by building the muscle of your awareness of abundance. Look out in nature. Identify abundance in nature. The leaves on a tree, the grasses, the animals, and then begin to identify the feeling. Penny has a specific group of people, just a couple, that they're working with unraveling this idea, and they've been at it for months now, playing to unravel this idea within themselves. And they meet and they discuss happenings and things. Abundance has a specific feeling. The challenge is being in that space with a level of consistency to begin to build the momentum. But just like anything else, you begin to see evidence of your play and practice showing up. It may not be $1 million, but you might start finding change. You might get gifted some money. You might come in contact with discounts for things that you are intending to purchase at a rate that is not normal. This is abundance making its way into your experience, right? It may not change your life tomorrow, but it is evidence of abundance making its way into your life. Abundance has a feeling. If you consider right now, each of you, if you consider right now having at your disposal the experience of an abundance of wealth, let's say $1 million in your accounts right now, and then you look to the feeling, it is specific. It is a feeling of freedom. It is a feeling of weightlessness, right? There's no weight. There's no frustration. There's no squeeze inside of the body because you're not sure if you have enough, or you have these things that you want to do, but you have this bill that's necessary, this financial obligation that's coming, that's looming. Think about the weight that one who is in this position feels constantly, the loop that they are in. Yeah, you had enough to pay all your financial obligations this month, but you know they're coming next month. As a matter of fact, the envelopes have already started making their way to your home through the mail. You're being held in a level of vibration. And you're believing mentally in the financial constraints. And you're in a vicious cycle of low vibrational expression and experience and belief in the abundance of lack and scarcity. And let's throw this out there. How long have you been in that position of having just enough or not enough when it comes to your financial resources? Think about that. Think about the power that most that we interact with that ask abundance questions. They haven't noticed that they have been in the same position for years. Their financial position hasn't got any better, but it also hasn't got any worse. And if it has gotten worse, they come back up. It's like having a even line, like a zero. And then here you're in the negative and you get into positive, greater abundance, or greater lack and scarcity, which puts you in the negative in a lot of different ways. Most, their experience has been consistent in a certain position. Sometimes it dips, but it comes back up. Sometimes it moves up a little bit, but it comes back down to that place. And they find themselves with that same feeling constantly. What is it that keeps these individuals in that same position of it never gets any better, but it somehow never really gets any worse either? That lets you know that the cause is in here. It's in the belief. It's in the strength of the feeling that is offered in conjunction with the beliefs. So to begin to create a foundation of abundance, begin to identify abundance outside of you, identify the feeling, begin to find the ability to be gracious for the position that you're in. Be gracious that as you look back, the resources to stay in the position that you have been in have always made their way into your experience. Wow. When you begin to see these things and you begin to change the energy around your financial obligations, instead of being frustrated or bothered or any of those things about the position that you're in, begin to be grateful for that position. Begin to be grateful for the resources that make their way to you and have made their way to you and continue to make their way to you in order for you to stay in that position. This is the process at work 100% within you. And so that is fuel to the fact that if I change my internal, if I change that which I am believing in, if I change that which I am aligned with, it has to change. But it goes back to what we've been talking about. Engage in the process. Engage in the process of development. Engage in the process of expansion, whatever that means to you, as you turn your attention to an abundance of wealth, an abundance of resources, an abundance of finances, more than enough. And the feeling of it, that high, expansive, almost like you're in the sky and there's no ground, but you're there, and there are no boundaries. There are no boundaries, there are no ties, there is no constriction. That's the feeling when you entertain the idea of abundance. Think about the animals that are being born in excess all the time. It's almost like there's no beginning and there's no end that you can identify. The oceans, there's no beginning and there's no end that you can identify. The sky, there is no beginning and no end that you can identify. It's the same with abundance. The evidence of the flow of abundance is constantly revealing itself. When you're in a store and you see everyone in line making purchases, that's the evidence of the flow of abundance that is constant. Some are more in that flow than others. Some stores and restaurants, there are restaurants, people who own restaurants that are struggling financially, and then you have your large chain restaurants and you have your large chain department stores that have been in business for lifetimes and are magnificently successful because you see the customers in the store in abundance. Every time you're in the store, they are in a different level of flow of abundance. But it's all mental and it's all vibrational first. It's all mental and it's all vibrational first. There is nothing and no one that is limiting the flow. The flow is limited for each of you in here. In here. Because money can be gifted, no government can stop that. Cars can be gifted, no government can stop that. Houses, homes can be gifted, no one can stop that. The spectrum is entirely wide open. But your engagement in the spectrum is internal. We hope that helps. Thank you for the question. Let's see. Sonia says, I am learning that I am the person that is most important. I've always taken care of everyone around me. Now is the time to take care of myself. Yes, but and do it in a beautiful fashion. You're not doing it from a place of frustration or anger that I have been this person and I know I have been neglecting me. Do it from a beautiful place. Understand that now, the more you identify yourself as the highness, the highest expressing of the truth of you in source, the more you unlock that highness that has always been present. And the more you unlock that highness that has always been present, you'll get kickback as to this being a selfish journey and you need to be selfish. But there's a difference between being selfish low vibrationally and selfish high vibrationally. To be selfish in a high vibration means that you show up as your highest and most excellent self everywhere you find yourself. And that is to the benefit of everyone you come in contact with. It's not to their detriment. It's not a bad thing. We hope that makes sense. Let's see. Anna says, interesting regarding the energy shift from seeing someone in high frequency. Reminds me, yesterday my husband said he all of a sudden felt exhausted and like his energy dropped. Why did he did not know why. Yeah, it can be from the energies interacting with other things or other people. Absolutely that can happen. But as you get stronger in your selfishly, consciously choosing to be in alignment, to be in a higher frequency state, the less that happens. And when it does begin to happen, you are aware of it because you have created so much distance. After you play and practice with this, you create so much distance between you and low vibrational states that when you feel that impact and you feel that movement downward toward the zero, toward the middle, you're able to catch yourself and adjust. But that happens with the creating of the space, and the creating of the space happens by being consistent at play and practice of what? Just being in a higher frequency state. Just being in a higher frequency state. No intention. The intention is to be high frequency. It's not for a specific thing you're trying to manifest. It's for the state of being that you're trying to condition yourself to. And there's no goal. There's just higher. Thank you for that, Anna. It is a challenge to put self first for many years of making self available to assist family members. What can I do to put self first without that unnecessary feeling of guilt? Well, that's the challenge. You shouldn't feel guilty. That's conditioning. You don't want to feel guilty. That's out of alignment, right? Being in a guilty state, expressing the frequencies of guilt aligns you with more experiences that further establish the loop of guilt, which you're in right now, right? This is a misinterpretation. This is a misunderstanding. This is not understanding the truth of you and source and the nature of source, and that you are powerful, beautiful, and that this is a selfish journey, right? But now you know. Now you know that guilt, you understand that that idea and the thoughts, behaviors, actions that stem from that idea have all been off center because of guilt. Guilt is low vibrational. Guilt is off center. So everything that comes from that, everything that plays a part and a role and is attached to that is incorrect from a desired growth and expansion perspective. So you asked, what can I do to begin to put self first? It's that process. You just begin to do it in a high frequency state, not out of frustration, right? Not out of frustration, not out of anger to the people that you have always done things for and put before you, and now you want to put yourself first no matter what they do, and I'm going to set up these boundaries and all of this stuff. None of that. None of that. You just begin to look inward. What do I desire at this moment? What's my intention? Yes, the family wants me to come to Christmas this year, but that's not my highest position. My highest position is to spend Christmas alone. My highest position is for my family to stay at our house. And maybe we will go visit, and maybe not. I'm going to look inward to make sure that I am in alignment with me. You just begin to play with the choosing and making sure that you're doing it in a high frequency state from a position of being centered and not in reaction to anything that's present now or in reaction to what you used to do. And you get stronger and your awareness expands, and you get stronger and your awareness expands, and you begin to see more. Understand that the more you're about this play and practice, walking this journey of enlightenment, as your awareness expands, you begin to see more. We don't know if you understand that or not. But you begin to see with your mind's eye differently. The further you go down this path in the correct way, doing it the correct way, reaching for a higher frequency, you begin to see differently as you elevate and expand yourself. Many of you have done that and are doing it, and you don't realize the importance of it. Some of you don't even know this is a thing, which is why you find yourself stuck a lot, which is why you find yourself frustrated a lot with the process. You have to understand and look for these pieces that alert you to the growth that has occurred. There are goalposts, road signs, all of these things that alert you to your growth and expansion, and that you are moving in the right direction. Individuals that we work with, individuals in the Accelerator, in the private community, they get frustrated sometimes, and we have to remind them that they're not the same person. And everybody in the group, through their conversation, can hear that they're not the same person they were 3 months ago. But you, in it, oftentimes don't see it until you're reminded. That's the power of a community. Thank you for the question. Excellent, excellent. Awesome, Madeline. Awesome. Let's see. Everything is connected. So no matter what choose to practice being in high frequency, and it will affect everything. Yes. Yes. High frequency alone, it will you begin to expand. Consistency. You begin to expand, and in that expansion you will begin to see other thought possibilities. You'll begin to see other potential action possibilities because of the frequency that you're in. And simultaneously, you will begin to see all that conflicts with the person that you are now seeing that you could be in a higher frequency. And you begin to deal with letting go, releasing those old patterns, while simultaneously you are entertaining the higher frequency and beginning to look, perceive, think as best you can from that position. You have these things going on at the same time as a result of the play and practice. But the play and practice is what creates the expansion. The play and practice is what expands your awareness. And the more your awareness expands, the more you see. Externally, yes, but more importantly, internally. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, we want to say with extreme high frequency, thank you for the support and the creation of this interaction. Again, thank you for each of you who have participated, each of you that is and was here. We're thankful again for those of you who have found this recording and participated and allowed us to be of support in that fashion. We are here for you. We will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. We love you very much. Choose to have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will talk to you soon.